Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Scandalous on Blog Talk Radio on the Cosmic Council Blog Talk Radio Network. I am April, a.k.a. Pisces Moon Goddess, and I am hosting tonight along with my partner in crime here, Apollonia, a.k.a. the Astrology Lady. And tonight we're going to discuss... What up?
Sorry.
So, it's all right. We're just so hyped because tonight we're going to discuss the good, the bad, and the scandalous of dating an Aries man. We're going to go through the whole zodiac eventually, but tonight's episode is beginning with Aries men. So, if you have ever dated an Aries man, and you want to share any of your experiences, good or bad or scandalous, we would love to hear from you. So we do have a call-in number that we will share, so you can call in and share your experiences. Also, we do encourage you to go into our chat room for discussions. The call-in number is 424-243-9659. Also, we wanted to mention the fact that the Cosmic Council Radio Network is looking for affiliates. So if you would like to use our platform, if you have any topics you're interested in speaking about and having your own podcast, we would love to bring you aboard. You can email us at questions, that's questions plural, at thecosmiccouncil.com. Questions at thecosmiccouncil.com, and we will be happy to reply and let you know what you have to do to get set up as an affiliate. So I'm also going to read our mission statements before we get into the show. So this is our mission statement. It's kind of like a little a prayer of some sort that we say before the show too. So the Cosmic Council is dedicated to the teachings of astrological, metaphysical, esoteric, and spiritual knowledge. The members of this council pride themselves on keeping an open-minded approach while spreading love, light, and wisdom in the name of Aquarian unity. We are a group of diverse astrologers, intuitives, metaphysicians, and passionate affiliates. We all come together with a broad voice that we are eager to share with the world from a creative, fun, rich, and powerful perspective. Of course, we all have our own flair, spin, and unique way of expressing ourselves creatively. Our goal is to speak to those that are rarely spoken to or for, to say the things that are rarely stated, uncover the things that are usually hidden, to bring light. We feel that it is our responsibility as light bearers to provide counsel, insight, and foresight to those seeking who are to seek knowing thyself. Like air, we hover over the situation with you to assist you in viewing the bigger picture. Like earth, we help you dissect the most needed pieces of the puzzle and create practical action steps in order to help you build. Like water, we cleanse, we heal, we quench your thirst. We seek to explore every emotion with you by getting to the root. Like fire, we ignite you by motivating you to take actionable steps for the greater good. We take our duties as a council seriously, and we stand by them diligently. Woo! All right. So with all that being said, woo!
That's our pledge of allegiance. I love it.
Yes. All right, so Apollonia, did you want to let everybody know what it is we're doing tonight?
So, the purpose or the reason why we came up with the good, the bad, and the scandalous of dating a blank man, a lot of times when me and April would have private conversations, we would find ourselves talking about this guy, that guy, usually men from our past, what their charts consisted of, and we just kind of started to compare notes and gel things together and, you know, ask each other, have you ever dated an Aries guy? Have you ever dated a Taurus guy? What was that like? So I thought that would be really awesome for us to create a show having these type of conversations so that other women can kind of know before they go. If you happen to run into a guy that maybe an Aries sun, or maybe he's an Aries moon, or maybe he has an Aries stellium, or maybe he has Mars in the first house, if you happen to run into these type of men, you will kind of have a brief synopsis in your mind about what you can expect. If you see little nuances that he may have, you will be able to pick up on those right away. Things of that nature. And also our council member, Rabina Rastaban, she does a really good series called The Dark-Sided Male, and she goes through every single guy's chart, and she tells you the really dark-sided things that they do. But here tonight, we're going to talk about the really good traits of an Aries man, and we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the sometimes scandalous traits of an Aries man as well. So I myself, I've dated 2 Aries men in my life that I happen to get close to, so there's some things that are fresh in my mind. And if you've had Aries unions too, correct?
Yeah, I did have a long-term, pretty much almost marriage with an Aries man, so I have a lot of input.
Wow. Yeah, and we're eventually going to talk to another one of our council members, and she's had some experience with Aries men too. So if you want to, let's go ahead and get started with the good traits of an Aries man, April. So you list about 2 or 3 traits, and you can expound upon them if you would like, and then I'll go and list about 2 or 3 and do the same, and till we get most of our thoughts out.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. So one of the really good traits about Aries men is their persistence. They are really good, usually, with follow-through. They are ruled by Mars. Aries is ruled by Mars. So Mars' symbol is a circle with an arrow, and when that arrow points at something that it wants, it goes full speed ahead. It has tunnel vision. It has blinders on. It just goes for what it wants. So that's why Aries men are so persistent. They really go after what they want as far as their goals in life. As far as if they are pursuing you, they will be like straight shooters. Like they will be so straightforward. I have found that with Aries men. Yeah, and
very
their persistence is really, it's very admirable for women who like go-getter type of men, because if they, and it doesn't matter like how hard the mountain is to climb, and you will find that a lot of Aries men are pretty active. They like to go hiking. They like to go to the gym. They will, their persistence shows in their physical, expression as well as like with their goals and everything. Another thing about them that's really good is they are very protective. Once again, that's that Mars energy that is, it's like hot fire. It's really, it gets heated easily. Like, say, for example, if somebody is messing with an Aries man, so you're dating an Aries man, right? If somebody messes with you, they're going to be really hot-headed and go after that person, like, and with their fist pointed out and their eyes closed. They don't care who they hit, they're still going to knock that target even with their eyes closed. I bet you they will. So they are very protective of their loved ones. And the third positive thing is they're pretty much, their motivation. I guess that goes along with persistence, or they're very motivating, I should say. Say, for example, I notice a lot of Aries men, if their women don't really like to work out and they just kind of chill, they will be like dancing circles around you. Come on, get up, let's go, let's get up early, let's go hike in the mountain, let's go climb some walls, let's go biking, let's go hiking, let's go to the gym, come on, let's go, girl. And then here they are marching. They don't just walk, they march. They're marching and they're like, come on, girl, we gotta go. And they have their head down, head first, like the rams with their horns pointing out. Come on, girl, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So they're very motivational to get you off your ass, pretty much. with anything you want to do, not just physical activity. If you tell them, hey, I have a goal, I want to achieve this goal, I have a dream, they will tell you, okay, well, then just go do it. I mean, just go do it. I mean, I just don't understand why you just don't do it. So, yeah, that can be a positive trait. It can be annoying. If you're more of a chill person, it can be annoying. But we'll get into the annoying stuff later. So, Apollonia, I'm passing the mic to you. What's positive about Aries?
And on that note, April, my Libra sister dated an Aries guy, and she made the mistake of telling him one of her goals, and every single day after that, he nagged her about that shit. How are you going to do that if you're sleeping all day? How are you going to, if you say you want to do this, you can't sleep all day. You have to actually get up and do something. So, yes, Aries men can be very motivational, but if they get too headstrong about it, it will quickly turn into them being a drill sergeant. So a lot of women have to be mindful of that. Yeah. Be mindful of that if you don't want to live.
Hold on. Let me just tell you that you hit the nail on the head with that, because my Aries ex, that's what I would call him. I would call him sergeant, and I would put other words after it. Some of them weren't so nice, but I call him that all the time. Okay, sorry, yes. Go ahead. I just had to add that in.
No problem. It's the truth. If you don't want to live with major pain, then kind of be mindful of the things that you tell them you're working on. You know, just kind of let them observe. Usually when I would date Aries men, they would be very funny, great sense of humor. They would keep me laughing, and those are some of the things I immediately liked about them. The sense of humor, they do tend to have nice bodies. Sometimes if a guy has Mars in the first house, if the Mars is afflicted or any other planet is doing something to that Mars, they could be a little bit more round or shorter. So pay attention to that if your guy has Mars in the first house, if you're reading or listening to this show because your man has that placement. But a lot of Aries men, they tend to have nice bodies, well endowed. Some of them are definitely a lot taller and could have a more of a muscular, and I'm not saying like a skinny build, but they're more muscular, and I don't want to call them stocky, but I guess the word is athletic. They have an athletic build type of body, like true blue Aries guys. They're very exciting, and I noticed when I dated an Aries man, I never had to plan our dates. Like how most women, you have to take control and plan the date. Like an Aries man will already have a list of shit lined up for y'all to do if he wants you to go with him that day, you know, and you have to be mindful of that, because an Aries man also has to invite you to go with him, because he makes a lot of plans for his day that don't necessarily include you, because Aries signs are naturally the self people, you know, it rules the self. It's the first house. So most of the time when they're making their plans in their mind, it's oriented around themselves. They are their first thought of the day, which I guess most people should be, you know, to think about yourself first. But we live in a society that, you know, kind of kicks the person that thinks about themselves first. But I say that to say Aries men have to invite you. So if he likes you a lot and he invites you out with him, 9 times out of 10, he's going to have an agenda or an itinerary for you guys to follow that day. They usually have really good conversations. I noticed that a lot of Aries men, depending on the chart, but a true blue Aries guy, or if his Aries energy is dominant, he usually has very stimulating conversation. He can study up on things for a little while and kind of have a encyclopedia in his mind. It's kind of like they just put the pieces together by themselves, and they can know a little bit about a topic but have hour-long conversations about it. And that always blew me away about Aries guys. And actually, one Aries guy, as a joke, I was on a date with him, and we were talking about something for like 45 minutes, and he's like, yeah, seriously, I don't know shit about that. You know, I was just going along with what you were saying, and, you know, and I thought that was the funniest thing, that he actually made me believe that he was a novice at the topic we were talking about. And let me think what else. Both of the Aries men that I've been with were very well endowed. I hear that. I don't know. Maybe, you know, depending on the guy, but the Aries men I've dealt with have been very well endowed. And, yeah, did I read all of mine? I don't know. No, I have a few more, so I'll pass the mic back to April.
All right. So do we want to continue with the positives, or do we want to get into, you know? Well, actually, we were gonna, we just wanted to know from our callers and anybody that wants to join in the chat room, what are your positive experiences from dating an Aries man? And I forgot to mention the fact that the reason why we chose the intro song to this night's program, Q-Tip, Vibrant Thing, but I chose the instrumental by accident. Pardon me for that. But still, Q-Tip, Q-Tip is an Aries, so that's why we chose him. He's an Aries man and one of Apollonia's favorite Aries men, so, you know.
Yes,
but, yeah, we
is.
want to
He
know.
definitely is.
Yeah, yes. All right, so we do want to know from our callers, like I said, if you have any experiences with Aries men, whether good, well, actually we want to know about the good first, since that's what we were covering. We want to know what your experiences are, so you can give us a call. The phone number here, once again, is 424-243-9659. And don't forget, if your man, you want to talk about Aries men, don't forget that they can either have an Aries sun sign, which means their birthday is in March or April, an Aries moon, or an Aries rising, or maybe even they have some planets in Aries, especially Mars in Aries. They will, even if it's like a Taurus man, but he has Mars in Aries, you're going to see that Aries side from him. So let me see if we have any callers holding, and see if anybody wants to join in with us. So just give me a sec. Let me see who's on the line.
I had two things to add. I think we can bring Tony on too, but I had two things to add about the good side of Aries men. The Aries men I have been with, they were very masculine and very traditional in a sense when it came to like wining and dining, courting you, so to speak. I've never had to pay anything when I would go out with an Aries man. I've had a couple of Aries guys even get upset about you like reaching to pay for something and you were out with them. So that was something that I experienced with an Aries guy as well. And they can be very, very active about a cause, a sports team. Usually, sometimes people may assume that an Aries man comes off as kind of militant, or some women will assume that that he's racist or biased or male chauvinistic, but a lot of times he's just really passionate about what he believes in and what he stands for. He really doesn't mean any harm by it. He's just very pro whatever it is that he is. So, for example, if he happens to be a particular sport team's fan, like if somebody else is one of the rival team's fans, he'll get so riled up like he's ready to fight them. Like he really doesn't mean that. He's just like super passionate. But sometimes he can mean that. But he's just really passionate about that. But I just wanted to add that, the last two good things that I had to say about Aries men.
Nice, nice. So you know what? It looks like we have a couple that wants to join us. A lady and also her Aries husband, and it is Tony, one of the members of our Cosmic Council Network, and her husband. So shall we bring them both on the line, or just one at a time?
Awesome. Yeah, bring them both on. Let's chat it up. Because then I guess so he'll be able to defend the bad and the scandalous part.
Okay,
but
so first
we can let Tony. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I think we were going to say the same thing. Let's let Tony, let Tony speak first, and then we'll let her husband plead his case.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. All right, Tony. Tony, you should be on. Are you there, Tony?
I am. How are you guys?
Good.
Hey, fellow Cosmic Council member, the C in Pisces.
It's me. That is me.
So, Tony, you ready to give us your rundown of the good traits?
Oh wow, I got a hodgepodge, but I'm actually married to Aries Sun men, and apparently I just don't have enough fire in my chart, or I'm just like a glutton for punishment or something. But what I did find is the sign that their Mars is in kind of tempers them a little bit. My first husband, he had Mars in Taurus conjunct Saturn in Taurus, and he wasn't as fiery at all. Not one bit. And I think our marriage lasted about 4 years. Yeah, he was a different person. Yeah, our marriage lasted about 4 years, and that was pretty much it. It was really boring, I should say. It was really boring. And he, like I said, he just didn't have that fire. But this one, and at any point you can unmute his phone because he can't wait to talk. But oh yeah, he's just sitting over here listening to you guys, just smiling, throwing his hands up, especially the part about driving you, because he really does get me out of my comfort zone. And I mean, he's up first thing in the morning. He is ready to go. He stays on 100. For me, I'm one that he stays on 100, and he knows to kind of give me some space at times. It's like, okay, you're doing too much. You got to take that energy elsewhere.
Right.
Give me a moment. So, yeah, but we go back and forth about that. But the difference between him and my first one is that he has Mars in Gemini, which is conjunct my Mars in Gemini. So, strong sexual chemistry, but you got to be careful with Mars conjunct Mars, because that thing can set your whole house on fire if you're not watchful. If you're not careful, because oh yeah. I mean, you guys both know that with Mars and Gemini, you know how to get your point across. So we will battle sometimes to get that last word in, but it's all love. The other thing I was going to say was, by me being a Capricorn rising, his sun is square my ascendant. So we get into little tussles about me moving too slow for him, and sometimes I think he's a little too quick for the draw. We go back and forth. But overall, he is fun. He's romantic. He likes to go on dates. He likes to hang out with me, and his Mars trines my moon as well as my Venus. So we do have fun when we get out. When we let our hair down, we have a lot of fun. And it keeps me going. If not for him, I would probably be, more so in the house than anything else. You guys also said something about being protective. He is very protective, like the pit bull type protective, very athletic. Karate, martial arts. I shouldn't say that. Martial arts, MMA, and he's also a welder by trade. So there you go with that. Yes, there you go with that fire again. But it definitely does, because his sun falls in his 7th house, I believe. Yeah, his sun falls in his 7th house. So he's more partner oriented than I would say for myself. I like a little bit more space. For him, he's like all up and through there. He loves to be with you. He loves to be around you. He's just happy-go-lucky, a ball of energy. So that's pretty much it.
Now he's a 7th house sun. I highly doubt that he's been single for more than a year in any time in his life.
That's an Aries. Is his mic open?
Not yet. Should I open it? Is it safe?
Yeah, you go for it. You sit right here, Greg.
All right. Okay, what's your husband's name?
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, it's Will.
Will. Okay, all right. Let's bring Will on. All right.
Yeah.
Aries man here to fend for himself. All right, Will, you're on the air.
Throw him an applause, April. Throw him an applause.
Yeah.
Applause for the Aries.
Good evening, ladies. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show, Will. Thank you for being an Aries man that's ready to stand the heat, because you know we about to say the bad stuff in a minute.
That's okay. I'm ready.
Awesome. So, tell us a little bit about what you feel your good traits are, Will, or did a lot of what we say resonated with what you feel your Aries energy depicts?
Well, actually, I will agree with you wholeheartedly. I would say that a lot of what you said really resonates, simply because I am a protector. I feel like my main purpose is to provide and protect for my family. When I see a situation, I try to make sure that I assess the most safely thing I can do to make sure that everyone that's with me is safe. I don't care whether you are literally blood to me. If you're with me, then I feel it's my responsibility to cover you.
Yeah.
Oh, and
that
I must add that
like
he was a bouncer for about, maybe 15 years?
Yeah.
Wow. That makes sense.
Oh, yes, always ready to fight. I should say protect. I'm sorry. Protect.
I wasn't just going to say ready to fight, but I was alert. Let's say that.
Okay, alert. Okay. We'll take that.
We'll take that. Yeah, you got to ask another question.
All right, so I'll take this question. So would you say that when you were interested in Tony, that like back in the day, in the you guys' early days of your relationship, were you really strong with your pursuit of her, or were you kind of more laid back? Or did he pursue you?
For me, it was a little bit of both, because we wasn't sure we stood with each other. I can honestly say that once I knew that she was interested in me, that it was okay to move forward. I would do little simple things, like I would come see her sister, and instead of bringing her sister or my cousin a gift, I would always bring a gift for Tony. I knew she liked this particular drink, so I would make sure that every time I came, I had that drink, even if I spent my last in getting it.
Aww.
Sounds about right. Because Aries men, they will go out of their way to let you know that their eye is on you. It's kind of like they'll open their eye with both of their fingers and make sure you see that it's on you. You know.
It's kind of funny you say that, because what I used to say when I was younger, before we got together, is I would be interested in a young lady. I would walk past her and ask her if she believed in love at first sight. If she said no, then I would walk by again. Say, okay, so since you didn't believe in love at first sight, here's the second sight.
I'm done.
That's classic Aries.
Yes. And see, that's that Aries being the jokester. Aries men will get you with making you laugh and doing or saying something funny. So
For
I
sure.
definitely agree. So April, do you want to take an intermission? You want to take a caller, or you want to just go straight into the bad and the scandalous?
I know, right? Well,
yeah.
You know what?
Aries men are not all cookies and candy.
That's okay.
Well, yeah, we're going to take a quick intermission before we get into the juicier stuff. We do appreciate Tony and Will joining us to give their input on Aries men. And, of course, Tony will be talking to you later. And, yeah, Will, thanks a lot for coming in and confirming things for us on the good things about Aries men.
No problem.
All right.
Y'all be good.
Thank you,
we will. Good night, guys. Okay, everybody else stay tuned. We're going to play a quick song, and then we will be back in 3 to 5 minutes.
Real is real. Real.
All right, we are back on with the good, the bad, and the scandalous of dating an Aries man. So we already went over some of the good, positive points of Aries men, their good traits. We did hear from Miss Tony and her husband Will. Will is an Aries sun, and Tony is not an Aries, but she's a Pisces, but dating her, or married to her Aries. Sorry about that. So now we're going to get into the bad and the scandalous of the Aries men. So it's going to get pretty juicy here. So, shall I go first?
Yeah,
right.
You were practically married to an Aries man at one point, and I just wanted to add to the audience, Nas is an Aries moon, hence why we picked him for the intermission song. Nas is a Virgo Aries, and Khalees complained about a lot of unsolicited activities on the side when it came to Nas. So a lot of extracurricular activity, excuse me. So yeah, that'll segue us into the scandalous portion of Aries men.
Okay, so I'm just going to give a couple of points with my experience. So to the best of my knowledge, I've only dated one Aries man. I mean, when I was a lot younger, I didn't pay as much attention to astrology for a little while as I did when I got older. And yes, a long time ago, yeah, I was practically married to an Aries man. He was an Aries sun, Scorpio moon, Mars in Aries, Mercury in Aries, Mercury and Mars conjunct. So he had a lot of Aries energy. And one of the biggest issues in our relationship was the fact that Aries men, they can be known as flirts, as I'm sure any sign of the zodiac that you date can be a flirt in some sort of way. But Aries men, they love the thrill of the chase, since they are the hunters, the natural hunters of the zodiac. So when the thrill is gone, they're going to look for the next prey to chase after, pretty much. So we were in a long-term relationship that was mainly initiated by him, but yet the whole entire time, it seems like I was always trying to chase women off of his phone, off of his social media, and off of him, like literally, like physically. There was one instance where, I'm not going to get into the whole entire story, but I'll just say this. We lived in a house full of roommates, and there was a female roommate that was dating another male roommate, but it seemed like she had some type of thing for my Aries man, and she didn't really hide it very well. I was new to everybody, so I didn't want to just bust in the scene and be like, oh, hell no, get out of my mouth. I didn't want to go all crazy. I'm like, okay, let me try to get to know these people. This seems a little weird, but maybe I might be wrong. My Pisces moon stepped in and put fog over the situation. Maybe I might be wrong. Maybe she's just really friendly. No. There was one particular evening, all of us went out as a group to a lounge. I got up to talk to a girlfriend of mine, and then she's like, where's your man? And I pointed to a couch at the lounge. Oh, he's over there. She's like, that's him. He had our roommate. She was sitting on his lap. And I did walk over there, and I did whisper something to him. Well, it was a loud whisper, okay? Pretty much what the F is going on, and if this is how you guys get down, then you can expect me to have all of my stuff moved out of your house tomorrow. Because I was like, no. We're just friends. No, like to him, friends, his female friends, he was physical with them. And I'm like, no, that doesn't fly. That was an issue the whole entire relationship. So, that was one of the biggest issues. And then another one was, yes, being a little too overly persistent because I have a stellium of planets in Taurus. Just the same ones he has in Aries, I have in Taurus. And those two signs are totally different from one another. Taurus is very chill, laid back. We like to take our time. We hate being rushed. If you rush a Taurus, expect a middle finger from us, whether literally or like just the vibe that you get, okay? So he was always rushing me, and I lived a really crazy life at the time. I was going to school. I was working 2 jobs. I had all kinds of creative projects on the side as well. And sometimes I would come home in the middle of all that stuff and take a quick nap. But he told me that naps are unattractive. Naps are unattractive. I was like, are you kidding me? You know the life I live. But then he would say, well, I, me, because Aries is the sign of I am, me. It can be selfish. That's another negative trait of Aries, being very selfish. So he would say, I am busy, I. So I'd be like, that's you. He didn't get it, okay? So it was just unattractive for me to take a nap. Therefore, he had booty, butt, cheek screensavers of other women that he would lust after on his phone, and he would invite other women to go climb indoor rock climbing. He sneakily invited another woman to go do that with him, and of course, me being a Scorpio rising, I find out everything. I looked in his phone and found out everything all the time. So, I did see in his phone, he told me, oh, I'm going to go indoor rock climbing, and then I saw that he invited this chick, and I'm like, why don't you invite me? I'm your woman. Oh, well, you this, and you're stagnant. You don't really like to move around very much, and she does. So
wow.
If he is bored, if he wants to be active, he may seek that in somebody else. So, those are my stories, but just in general, Aries men, the negative traits can be, they do burn out very quickly as far as their interest. If the thrill of the chase is gone, they can be too persistent, too active to where they look at you like, you're lazy, hurry up, why aren't you on my level? Another thing was, I remember he always walked in front of me. Even when we went out together, there was no holding hands or walking together. No, he was always on a mission with his head down. Aries men will walk like that with their head down, the horns out. He was always on a mission. And I'd be like, why doesn't your mission include me? So they can be kind of selfish like that. So those are the traits that I have to mention. Sorry if it was long-winded, but I'm very passionate about this because, I have some stories. All right.
No, you did very well. You did very good, April. And yes, that same thing where you said naps are unattractive, my sister's Aries ex would tell her, how are you going to have all these goals but you sleep all day? It's like Aries and sleep, they don't really understand people that are Piscean where we need sleep. Like literally we need sleep. Like we have to, it's like we will cut time someplace else so that we can sleep. So that could be a definite issue when it comes to an Aries and Pisces couple. So to start off with my bad and scandalous traits of an Aries man, and like I said, I dated two, and one of them was more serious than the other, and I just stepped back because I didn't want to deal with the constant female friends. I'll get into that. So the first thing I noticed about Aries men, they can get a little bit cuckoo when they get quote-unquote bored. It's like they break out in hives if they are bored. And it's like whenever he would say, I'm bored, it's like that was supposed to fucking light a fire under my ass. Like, okay, so he's bored, so maybe I need to fucking tap dance or something. Like, that's how they say it to you.
You need to jump up and just start running. Don't even ask questions, just start running.
Yeah, so whenever he would do this constant I'm bored shit, I would sit there and look alarmed and just constantly blink and say, okay, so what now? Aries men can be very male chauvinistic. Very, I'm the man, you're the woman. And that's most fire signs, but Aries and Sag to me do it the most. Leos do too, but Aries and Sag men, they put that shit on Front Street. I'm the man. That's woman's work, you know. You're supposed to do these tasks. I'm supposed to do these tasks. End of story. Now, although Aries men are usually very good at housework, but they have to be in the mood to do it. So say, for example, if an Aries man is got a whole bunch of energy and maybe he can't get out of the house, he'll clean the whole fucking house, but then weeks down the line, if he comes home and he's in a shitty mood and the house is fucked up, and he'll say, oh, well, I cleaned this whole house by myself such and such day. Like,
of course.
You're supposed to mimic. Yeah, like you're supposed to mimic what he did because he has the fucking Energizer Bunny battery on his back. But because he did it, he expects that you should be able to do it too. Aries men, to me, can be way too independent to a fault, because their independence means, like I said earlier, they will wake up in the morning with a self-agenda that doesn't include you, that doesn't include the children, and they will just dart off with no fucking explanation.
Oh, my God. I went through that with my Aries. He did that.
Yeah.
I would call him and be like, where the hell did you go? Why didn't you tell me? Why do I have to tell you where I'm going? I just have a mission. Left, right,
exactly. I'm a man. Why are you questioning me about my whereabouts? That's how they are. And they really don't feel that they should give an explanation to you about their whereabouts. And then you will miss them for hours at a time, and then they'll just pop right back the fuck up like they haven't even been gone for 10 hours. Like, okay, on to the next task. What have you guys been up to while I've been gone for 10 hours? All of the work around here isn't done? Everybody's still sleeping? What the fuck? So that's how they act. Also, don't send your Aries man to the fucking store, because they will make beeline trips. Imagine if you send your Aries man to the store for milk, and you're like, what the fuck? He was supposed to be back in a few minutes. I just sent him for milk. Oh, well, I stopped by such and such's house, and I seen such and such in the store, and we carried on a conversation, and, you know, they'll come back hours later again and say, oh, here's the milk. And you're like, well, shit, I don't even need the damn milk anymore. What happened? And then when they make these beeline trips, or when they dart off without explanations, rarely do they answer their phones or communicate when they do that.
Oh my God. So true.
Yeah. Now, also, I noticed about Aries men, they can be very into dangerous sports, just like Tony listed earlier. Some of them are actually into skydiving, bungee jumping, motorcycles, rodeos, MMA. They're actually want to be involved in that shit, some of them. And to the women who have an Aries man who partake in these type of activities, like say, for example, if your man bungee jumps every weekend, he would want you to be there, to be around, to be supportive of him, of these outlandish, dangerous-ass activities, and maybe you don't want to be around because it makes you nervous or you feel like he would get hurt. He will get an attitude and invite another girl that thinks that shit is cool and say, well, she's here because she's my support. She wants to watch me get my ass fucked up or get thrown off of a bull because I'm a rodeo rider, that type of thing.
So almost
next
dying
thing I
is
noticed,
fun to them.
Oh, yeah. Huh?
Being on the brink of death is fun.
Exactly. I was watching a documentary years ago about a group of guys that were bungee jumpers. And this was way back in the day where you were able to, like, type a full name into MySpace and type in their city and shit like that. Like, MySpace was so much better when it came to snooping. But anyway, I was watching this documentary, and I typed in the guy's name, and I'd be damned he wasn't an Aries. And they had, like, you know, I would watch random documentaries, and it was a bungee jumping club, or not a bungee jumping. Is it skydiving when they stand on the top of these big-ass mountains and they just jump? Is that skydiving?
I think
That's
so. Then they have
skydiving.
You know,
like the parachute.
Some wild shit
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though they had friends to die from the skydiving, they still partake in the skydiving. So anyway, I digress. You know that they're into dangerous, or they want you to watch sports with them. That was another thing. The Aries guy that I dated, he would always say stuff like, oh, well, I can't deal with a woman if she's not into football. She got to be into football. And I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So are you going to explain it to me? But whatever. They can be very short-tempered. And when they get mad, they simply lack logic and reason to the nines. It just totally vanishes. And they are very one-sided once this short temper switch flicks on. They have the capabilities to entertain numerous women at one time. And if you say anything about it, he will quickly dismiss you as if you are nagging him. And why are you in his business type of antics. They also have a very insatiable sexual habit or desires, like they constantly want to fuck all the time, and it's like you can't please them. It's like if he says he wants to do it 2 times per day, 5 days a week, if you don't meet that goal, he's pissed off. And then even if you meet that goal, he'll quickly increase it as if you have to beat your fucking high score on a video game or something. And
oh my God,
that can be hard to deal with. Now, lastly, before we let Will in to defend some of these scandalous things, now what I notice about Aries men, they can be kind of rough around the edges. Some of them can be like the type to flick boogers, fart, burp, stains on their shirt. Like they might have a stain on their shirt, or they might wear the same outfit a couple times a week, but at the same time, they have impeccable swag, so they still look good. It's like a Aries man can be bummy looking, but he looks good. Or he could look bummy as shit on the surface, but he has a pocket full of money. He just doesn't. He's so confident in his body, in his presence, that the clothes don't have to make him. Now, that's something that I like about Aries men, but some women will perceive that as him being messy, or he's nasty, or ill, he flicks boogers, or ill, he didn't wash his hands after he blew his nose, type of thing.
Oh my God! Can I just confirm that real quick?
Sure.
Just really quick, and then we're gonna bring people on.
Yeah.
An Aries that I dated. I pretty much taught him how to dress because his wardrobe was exactly how you described it. T-shirts with holes in it and pants like plaid pants with a freaking striped shirt. And I'm like, no, like, because like you said, like they are very confident. He had a lot of quote unquote swag, very good looking guy, nice body, but he just did not, the way he dressed was like a clown. And then he would wear red shoes with the plaid. And I was like, oh Lord, is this the way you dress? And then I started picking out outfits for him. And then I started saying, get rid of these holy ass shirts. Oh my God. So after that, I pretty much had to teach him how to dress. So I just wanted to confirm everything Apollonia is saying is exactly on point.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that is the truth. A lot of women that have Aries men will dress them because they're like, my man looks good, but he has no taste in fashion or clothes or anything like that. And now, I also wanted to add, though, now, ladies, if you're interested in the Aries man, don't think that just because he farts and belches and digs in his nose and shit around you that you can do it too. Oh, no. He does not find that shit attractive. He can do it, but you can't. So don't just think you're going to crack your ass around him. No, he will find that unattractive. But he can do it all day.
Of course, because he's the man, right? So, all right, just so good spiel, Apollonia.
I think we have a caller, April. I think we have.
We
do.
Well,
I thought we had a caller. Yeah.
No, we have. We have a few callers. Let's see. So we have. Looks like somebody calling in from their computer, and then we also have someone calling in from their phone. Did we want to bring? Let's see. We've got about 20 minutes left. Do we want to bring Tony and her husband back on, or do we want to try to give other people a chance to speak?
I think we should let Will defend some of the scandalous antics, and then we will take our callers.
Oh, yes. Okay, all right. So, Will.
Yes.
All right, Will, you're on the air. Would you like to defend yourself on the stand, sir?
Yes, I would like to defend I would like to defend all Aries men. First and foremost, to say we are very, very good dressers. We like comfort. We like our T-shirts and our jeans. So, yes, that must be the things that we opt for. But when we make it up in our mind to step out, then we're going to make sure that we look our best. If we want to impress somebody or impress a young lady or something like that, we're going to make sure we smell good. We're going to make sure that we're very well groomed. We're going to make sure that, all I's are dotted and all T's are crossed.
Okay.
So, Will, what about
yes?
What about you guys being very independent to a fault, darting off with no explanation, making beeline trips? What about that?
Well, I will agree with you on that. And at times we will most definitely go on our own little journey. Sometimes our record starts, we have a list of what we're supposed to do, but it's like riding down the street and you see a squirrel. You're gonna follow that squirrel. Unfortunately, at times, that's just where we are. We'll eventually get back to where we're supposed to go, but.
Wow. So when the wives send you guys out to go to the store for milk, and it takes you 3 hours to come back, what's the thought process there? Are you remembering that, damn, my wife did send me to the store for one thing, I was just supposed to grab that and come back, and it's been a 4-hour escapade? What's the thought process there?
Well, honestly, for me, I will say that I'm usually cut and dry. If I'm going to the store to get something, I try to get there as efficiently as I can, but it's a learned process. I throw that in there. I try to be as efficient as I possibly can. I'll get there and get back because 9 times out of 10, there's something else that I wanted to do for myself, and I really didn't want to go to the store in the first place.
Wow. So, see, you interjected your selfish need. Like, okay, she's sending me to the store, but this is an open opportunity for me to just go ahead and run my little few errands that I already wanted to do anyway. And while I'm out, I might as well just go ahead and do it because I'm out anyway.
Yep. I'm gonna be as efficient as I possibly can, though. I'm already out, so I might as well do my stuff first, get that milk, and come back. That milk's gonna be cold, though.
So efficiency. Efficiency is the key word. Okay, all right.
Efficiency, yes.
Yeah. Now, the last thing I wanted to ask you, and then April, you can ask Will any questions if you have any. The insatiable sexual appetite that Aries men have, it's like with women can barely fulfill the sexual need. And a lot of times this is why I've heard Aries men say, oh, well, she couldn't keep up with me, so I had to cheat. Like they say things like that. I wanted it 5 to 6 times per day, and she could only give me 3. So I had to find somebody else to take those other 3 days. So why do you feel Aries men have that bottomless pit of sexual needs?
Well, I honestly would say our cup is never full. I will honestly say that.
We know.
I mean, you can pour whatever you want in that cup, but it's not going to fill it. Now, to be totally honest with you, if we want it 5 or 6 times a day, we can actually compromise. We can do it for 3 hours, 3 times a day, and be cool.
Oh, my God.
But here's the thing. It's got to be that 5 or 3 hours. It can't be, oh, I'm tired, or my leg hurt, or, I got to go to work, the bills need to be paid. We don't want to hear any of that.
Yes, that's very true. An Aries man does not want to hear any excuses when it comes to him wanting to fuck. He just wants that. He doesn't want any explanation, any excuses, I got to do this. He doesn't want to hear any of that. Just get to the fucking part. That's all.
It's pretty much. And if you did it good the first time, then there's no excuse why you cannot repeat that same intensity again.
No excuses. No excuses.
No excuses whatsoever.
I'm taking notes here I'm taking notes. So efficiency and no excuses and cup never full. Okay. All right.
And if you fucked his brains out the first time, there's no reason why you can't do that again.
Exactly. It should happen every time. Just like that, it's not better.
Wow.
As I used to say, you better pack a lunch.
And no naps, right? You're not allowed to take a nap.
Yeah, no naps. Naps are for weekends. Who needs to sleep during the day?
So, do you hear that, ladies? Aries men are anti-naps. Don't take a nap around your Aries man.
Now, we can cuddle, but we got to be nude, and, you can nap afterwards, but just know I'm going to wake you up with the same fire that I put you to sleep with.
Wow.
Oh, Tony.
So have some no-dos on the nightstand, ladies.
Some no-dos, some coffee. Drink lots of coffee, okay? I don't have any questions.
So, Will, you laid it all out.
I'm sorry?
Wow. I said you laid it all out for us, and we greatly
pretty much
appreciate that. And the replay is definitely going to be up on YouTube for women to get a full dose of what the Aries man consists of. We really appreciate you for coming out. So we're going to get to some of our callers. April, if you want to hit the call lines, let's see what we got.
All right, cool. Will do. So it looks like we have a caller that's been holding for a while. It shows up as all one, so they're probably on their computer. All right, let's bring them through. Okay. Caller, you're on the air with the Cosmic Council Radio. Who are we speaking to? Is anybody there? Hello?
If it's all one, they may be on Skype, so they may have to put their question or comment in the chat. Or the person that's all one, you can put your question in the chat box, or you can email us at questions@thecosmiccouncil.com.
Okay, so then we're going to take the next person that's been holding, area code 302-304. You're on the air with Cosmic Council Radio. Who are we speaking to? Hello? Anybody there? I know these people are not
302.
I know I'm doing this right. 302-304. Okay. They didn't want to say anything. All right. So if anybody wants to try to call back, let us know in the chat box, as Apollonia said. And also, we're still on air for about 10 to 15 more minutes. If anybody else wants to call in very quickly, area code 424-243-9659 to share any of your experiences with Aries men, or if you are an Aries man. So, okay, well, the callers aren't as popping tonight, but it's all right. This is a very entertaining show, super entertaining. So we're really enjoying ourselves here.
And I definitely thank Will for sharing and being open, expressing his Aries side. And to the ladies out there, if you're interested in dating an Aries man, or if you have an Aries man currently, please call in and share your experiences, your thoughts, or pass this on if you know someone that's dating an Aries man.
Yes, please do. Okay, well, until we get any more callers, I guess we can, do you have any other experiences with Aries men, or any comments or anything? Or I may have a couple.
Let me see. So the Aries guy that I dated, we were very attracted to each other. I liked him a lot. But at the same time, he had recently gotten out of a long-term relationship, and this was back in mid-2000s. I want to say 2009, maybe a little bit sooner. So maybe like 05, 06. This was back when we were still laying on the phone for hours at a time at night. And he worked nights, and a lot of times I would keep him company during his night shifts. We would talk on the phone his entire shift sometimes, and we had amazing conversations, which was another thing that I added, that Aries men usually have very stimulating conversations, and we just really liked each other. But at the same time, he wasn't ready to settle, or he wasn't ready to be exclusive to just me. And for a little bit of that time, I was okay with that, but I found myself falling for him quicker than I usually do with other guys. And he would say things like, well, when we're together, you're mine, we're together. But when we're apart, I could be free to do whatever I want. That was the type of shit he would say. And I really didn't understand it at that time, that, wow, did he? But, you know, I was happy that he was being honest about the situation. But, of course, years went past, and right before I was about to marry my first husband, he came back around with the whole I'm ready to settle type talk and all of that kind of stuff. And I just didn't even trust it, wasn't even interested. And so, yeah, besides the conversation, the funny stuff, he definitely courted me, took me out on a lot of dates that he would plan. And we had amazing sex. So that's the highlight of the Aries stuff. But, yeah, that was the one that I was more closer to. The other Aries guy that I dated, he was an Aries with a Scorpio moon. So he was definitely an Aries guy, but he was a little bit more calm than the average Aries. And he liked me a lot more than I liked him. But looking back in retrospect, I wish I had given him a fair shot, just because I crave a man with a Scorpio moon now. But he still had some of those Aries traits. Like, he would I spent the night at his house a couple times. I would wake up and he would be gone, and he would have had left me a note or text like, okay, I'll be back later. Never really X, Y, and Z and where he went or what he was doing. And then I kind of think he may have sold weed or pills or something like that. Very Scorpio moon-esque. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you go ahead and tell us a little bit more of your dating experience with the Aries men.
Well, actually, I have a lot more, but we only have 10 minutes left, so my stories, I have stories for days, and I don't want us to go over time. So maybe another time. I just wanted to bring up an Aries moon man that has been in the news, in the tabloids and all that stuff recently, is T.I. Remember T.I.?
Oh, yeah.
Like Tiny. Yeah, they've been in the news with their relationship issues, and he's a Libra sun and an Aries moon. So he's got that Libra charm.
Yeah.
But that Aries moon, oh my gosh, the Aries moon is apparent in his music too.
Yes. Very true.
Yeah, so he's
and we talked about T.I.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. We talked about him. Go ahead.
Yeah, we talked about T.I. on a Facebook thread, and we kind of looked at his chart as a collective group of females, and let's just say T.I. is not cut out for monogamy. No disrespect to Tiny or any woman that he's ever been with. He's just never going to be faithful. He's not cut out for monogamy. He's definitely one of those Aries men that has a bottomless pit of sexual needs. And then him having that Libra sun, he needs a lot of variety too. Like, I was on Instagram, and supposedly one of Tiny's friends put together a collage of all the women that T.I. had supposedly cheated with. And they were all very different. So, he needs a variety, and he needs a lot of activity. So there isn't going to be one woman that can provide all of that shit that he needs. Like, he needs a few women. I definitely think he probably needs to be in an open relationship with a woman that doesn't require a lot of his time, a lot of his attention, a lot of his emotional self. She doesn't require all of that. And there are women out there that exist that don't need to be with their man 24/7, So if you're one of those ladies, cool. It's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not one of those females, that's why it's important to look at your man's natal chart to see what he consists of, because why even, say for example, if Tiny had have gone to an astrologer before she married T.I., an astrologer would have been able to tell her, hey, A, your man is not built for monogamy, and 2, if a monogamous union is the thing that you are seeking, marrying him and having these high expectations, you will only hurt yourself. So had she had gone to get his chart done prior to marrying him, she would have known what to expect, and she would have been able to proceed with caution and decide if she wants to deal with that, and every woman doesn't want to deal with that. So it's not fair for you as a woman, if you have a man that's made up like T.I., it's not fair for you to try to stuff him into a round hole if he's a square peg. That's not fair, Let him live out his purpose and be true to who he is. And hopefully he can run into women that he's able to be honest with and say, hey, this is what it is. This is what I'm seeking at the moment,
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I just wanted to name a couple other famous Aries men before we close out. Pharrell is an Aries. Eddie Murphy. We've heard a lot about Eddie and his love life.
Haven't we?
Jackie Chan. Butt-kicking Jackie Chan is an Aries. Akon is an Aries. And Charlie Hunnam. I'm like, what is the name of that show he's on? The motorcycle game. Why can't I think of the name of the show? The one about the motorcycle game. You know which one I'm talking about? But he is the fine.
Are you talking about Sons of Anarchy?
Yes, Sons of Anarchy. Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
He's an Aries. He's a very... Yes, that's a fine Aries man. All right,
it is. He's very scrumptious.
So that includes our show tonight. Thank you so much to everybody that's tuned in, either online or via phone. Any callers we didn't get to, we apologize. But go ahead and send us an email. Hop in the chat box while it's still open for a few minutes. But definitely send us an email at questions, plural, at thecosmiccouncil.com. I think we had some issues with our email yesterday, but we've got them situated. So we are receiving all your emails now. So questions at thecosmiccouncil.com. Remember, this show is every other Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So to close out, we're just going to let you guys know how you can get a hold of us. Myself, April, I am an intuitive astrologer, and usually all my contact information is under Pisces Moon Goddess or Pisces Moon Astro. Twitter, Snapchat are Pisces Moon Astro. So is Instagram is Pisces Moon Goddess. so is my YouTube. I do YouTube monthly horoscope, so check me out there. And Apollonia, where can you be found?
You can reach me at The Astrology Lady on Facebook, The Astrology Lady on YouTube, The Astrology Lady on Instagram, and Miss Astrology Lady on Twitter, because The Astrology Lady were too many characters for Twitter. So you can reach me all of those places. Also, The Astrology Lady at thecosmiccouncil.com. Hit me up. I am also a intuitive astrologer, and I also intermingle tarot and a sprinkle or a dash of numerology at times as well. And I appreciate you all for coming out every other Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And next week, we're going to be discussing Pisces men. We're going to throw it back to the end of the zodiac wheel, and we're going to be discussing Pisces men, the good, the bad, and the scandalous. So if any Pisces men out there want to call in, or if you have dated a Pisces man, or you are with a Pisces man, please feel free to call in and tell us about your experiences. So we would love for the fellas to come through and defend themselves just how Will did. Or if you are female and you want to come through and talk about your Pisces men, definitely do so. So I think that's it. So
yes, that's it.
Yeah,
so,
I'm going to close out with the instrumental Q-tip, the fine Q-tip.
Okay.
Thanks, guys, for listening.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Catch the replay. Peace.